I'd love to start the week off on a positive note, Mama. So we are going to talk betrayal and how it is that you can bounce back from betrayal. It's something that happens to the best of us, whether it's from friends, from loved ones. So we'll get a little bit into that. If you're watching and, of course, tweeting, please tag at Citizen TV Kenya. You can tag me individually at Joey_Muthengi. Use the hashtag PowerBreakfast. If you have any questions for Welly, you can let me know, and I will pass those along. Welly Odendo back again.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm well. I'm the signal, Mama.
You're the signal. You're the signal that's been sent by Mama. So we're going to be talking about bouncing back from betrayal. And like I said, it's something that happens to the best of us. I think it's part of life. I think the most painful part about betrayal is that it comes from people you love, people you trust, people you care for. It's not your enemies attacking you. It's those within. And, you know, we can define betrayal, I guess, as a deliberate violation of trust or confidence.
Yes.
So what happens, that initial pain of realizing this person I cared for, this person I loved, has betrayed my trust?
First of all, I'd like to say is that most of what triggers the actual act of betrayal is self-interest, and self-interest that is motivated towards trying to rise the rank. Somebody's trying to use your capital so that they can build their rank or their profile with somebody else or somewhere else. So it starts like, oh, it's a value that you've violated, but it is actually an opportunity for them to rise the rank using you as capital. And that is why, for most of us, we find that the people that we brought so close and they grew in us and we allowed them to have what I would call classified information about us or classified access about us, that access becomes a rank somewhere else. It is very important to people who are not as close to have that information, because when they go there, there are prince here, but with that information in that circle, that makes them a king. And so they will quickly take the information from here and run over there and become and think that that's the best way to become a king. So what should somebody do when that actual act of betrayal has occurred? The hardest part, which is the most important phase of any event in life, is acceptance. You have to accept that Joey has done me well, and no matter how much I may want to overlook it, but it has come from somewhere I had not thought about. For some of us, it takes so long for us to accept that so and so was not as much interested and invested in the relationship as I thought.
It's painful. And
you are actually discovering it when they are trading. You know, with betrayal is not just about, nimekuachanisha. It's me trading with you. It's me trading with your name. It's me trading with saying, hey, you know, by the way, and this is, and even that is fake, and even this is me trading with you, and how much I'm getting expediency and I'm getting passage by trading with you. So accepting that is the first step to stopping the bleeding. By you accepting that I have to recalibrate my life without you, and as early as I accept that, before I get to the forgiveness phase, before I get to the shaping phase, I have to first accept that it's not the same with so-and-so. It's normally very difficult. For some of us, it takes months. For some of us, you want to fight back. For some of us, but by the time you're trying to fight back, you are losing ground because you are in the streets. It's your blood running in the streets. So you have to first stop to accept. And for many of us, it's the hardest thing for people to do, to stop, because you feel like running, you feel like shouting, you feel like getting on media and explaining yourself, because you're not being given room to even explain yourself. Somebody's just putting you out there. So it starts by you accepting and saying, hey, by the way, this is happening and this has happened, and so his interests have finally come to the surface, and I accept it. And I have to stop thinking that chasing them will clarify who I am. That is the worst thing that happens to most of us. And you see, the thing about betrayal is that the aim of the betrayer is to make people lose their faith in you. But eventually, you lose your faith in yourself.
You start thinking, what did I do wrong? How did I not see this coming?
It has nothing to do with you. How did I not see this coming? Or why aren't people giving me a chance? But you have to know people are shallow. People, you know, the people who are doing the hard work here, the ones behind the cameras, they're not seen. And probably they have better, juicier stories than us who are on this side. But somebody needs us to sell a paper. If we go somewhere and have coffee, it will be, what's happening? Something new. It will sell a newspaper somewhere. So we have to know that people are shallow. And if you try to go and get to explain yourself to people who have already willingly, you know, people believe what they wish. So they are already wishing you fall. Yeah. So anything about you, they will believe. Yeah. So you will find yourself fighting to swim in waters that you don't even know who created them. So I just advise that you have to just, hey, stop and accept it's not happening between us, and accepting is the first and hardest. But
step.
If you do it right, then every other step that follows through will help you get there.
One of the things that I find myself doing a lot of times when these types of situations happen is I try to understand. I always want to understand. And so, like you're saying, you know, you end up chasing after the person to try and like understand what did I do wrong, or where, does the reason even matter? Does the reason for betrayal even matter?
It doesn't matter. The most important thing that matters in any relationship is your belief in yourself. Unfortunately, after relating so much with other people, we'll begin to make other people our pockets of belief. So slowly by slowly, if you walk away, you've walked away with some belief about me. And that is something that we must never lose in any format or any relationship. You can never allow yourself to lose faith in yourself, because you have to know that whoever is in your life right now is in your life because of what you have done to be where you are. And if you keep doing the right things, the good person, you'll meet other better people. But unfortunately, we feel like if I lose a good person, there are no other good people. So you have to really try and salvage this thing, and now you lose so much faith in yourself. Before long, you now become the depressed person, and the other person is just doing what they're
moving along with life.
Yeah, they're moving along, and you are now depressed because they've gotten you to the place where the objective of betrayal is to make you lose faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another thing that people often do once you've been betrayed is that you replay the details back in your mind a lot, and that's not helpful.
It's called the trauma of betrayal. Yeah. What happens is that because relationships take time, and sometimes after the event has happened and suddenly you get to discover you're Brutus, like Julius Caesar. When Caesar, they say when he died, his last words was, "Even you, child." Yani, he could not believe that even you, every other person maybe, but even you, that's where we get the word brutality from. Yani, somebody embodied such betrayal until he became a name. I wonder why, oh, Judas has already, Caesar was before maybe, so he didn't get to be, it could have been calling it Judas or something. But what happens is that you actually feel the urge to like, why did I put in so much? Why did I trust so much? Why wasn't I careful? Because you actually want to blame yourself for not being an overly cautious person. But some of these events are beyond your control. And in any situation, the only person eventually you can control is you. As much as you may want to control the situation, by controlling you, you are actually controlling this situation. You are the situation, actually. So by controlling you, you're actually controlling the situation. So what I think you should do, especially to deal with the trauma, is find a maturer person whom you trust and confide in. Find a breaking person, a breaking point. Just go there and melt and break, and then after breaking, come back, put your suit together and step out.
Do it one time,
not
two,
just
three.
Say, no, just say, Welly, I need to see you. I think I need to just break. And you come and you break and you fall on the floor and you just do it once. And when you do it, you offload the pressure from your soul. And that will help you deal with the trauma, because the voices that are not communicated are the ones which cause the breakdown within. So find a place where you can release that voice, whether it is anger, whether it is frustration, whether it is disappointment, whether it is despair. You need to release that voice. When that voice is released, then now you can rebuild your inner strength. So find a safe space. And that's why I always urge, especially people, that always find a strong mentor to be around you. Find a voice that is always above the light, that is always above the celebration. Just find a safe space that you can say. For some of us, it's our mothers. And unfortunately, some things are so gross, you cannot go telling your mother. So you're wondering, so how do I go tell my mom about my boyfriend? So you have to hold it in. For some of us, it's our pastors. For some of us, it's somebody that we actually go out. The worst thing you can do is try to fight a trauma with creating an addictive habit. For some of us, when you're betrayed, that's when we go drinking. By the time the pain of betrayal is gone, now you are a functional are functioning alcoholic. Before long, now you are doing needles. Before long, now you're reporting late for work. It's affecting your work. The incident happened there, but now it's starting to affect other areas. So I always urge, don't start an addictive habit while you're going through pain, because when pain starts leading you, eventually it will master you. And so you have to know, hey, as much as I feel I want to just go out, I just want to go this and
forget.
This and forget. I have been in the game long enough to see the girl who was angry, wanted to go and forget, went and got pregnant. Now she has
more problems.
She has a life to look after, more complications to look after. Not that getting a child is wrong, but the situation that brought it, and then now you are crying on this side for being betrayed. Now there's somebody who is looking up to you. Your body is now starting to fight you. So you really have to manage yourself in that moment, and that's why having a mentor and a figure of authority that can help you debrief all that voice of anger and frustration helps to relieve the mind of the trauma. For some people, they go for professional counseling, either see a psychiatrist or psychologist or whoever, which will help. Also, what I've come to see that helps to deal with the trauma of betrayal is never, ever, ever run out of your own reserves. Unfortunately, when we start relating, we empty ourselves too much, that by the time we are betrayed, we don't know where to start. Always have your reserves. Reserves are the capital for any situation in your life. You need to have reserves: emotional reserves, financial reserve, mental reserve. There must be something about you that you have kept for a fight, something somewhere, something, an attitude, a speech, something somewhere. Never run out of reserves. Have to make sure that your soul is always reserved, because you never know when the snake will enter into the garden and the person who is close to you will act in a way that you're not ready for. And if you don't have reserves, immediately their action, because betrayal is timed when you are lowest. And so their actions will find you when you are lowest and you don't have reserves. So what happens? You'll now begin. Have you ever met the people who are going through life and now you cannot be happy because unataka kucheka, but now this guy is hurting, so inabidi tu act, tuko sad. So you begin to be the burden in the party. Ukikam, we were laughing and then now inatuhito, by the way, uko na issues. So you have to have reserves that you can keep your life in momentum while still going through and dealing with the fallouts and the people who are breaking up. It helps deal with the trauma. So I always, my best way of building my reserves is that I always read for it. I always try to have information, whether it's about people, whether it's about money, whether it's about life. I just try to read for it so that I can grieve before the actual event happens. It's necessary to put yourself in a grieving space. Just get even just watch a sad movie and cry and just
let
anticipate.
The emotion out.
Yeah, it helps you to anticipate when you see those things. It helps you to anticipate, hey, by the way, this can happen to me. And should it happen to me, what could I do? I don't have a plan. Then I put myself back and I'm able to devise a plan.